All right, Breach. I painted the Chiefs offense for no showing for much of the season. Brenton said at some point they're going to turn the corner. That quarter happened to be in Buffalo on Sunday night.
I did not expect that.
In some pretty cold weather. Hold on.
That apology to be that fast.
All right, wait a second. We'll get to you. Sit down there and relax. All right, but that wasn't the case in Buffalo, Breach. How surprised were you that the Chiefs were able to flip the switch and look like the Chiefs were used to seeing without old Tyreek Hill out there?
Well, I think we kind of said it after the Chiefs got into the playoffs, after they beat the Dolphins 26-7. They won by 19 points. Is that the Chiefs are in the playoffs? They're dangerous. Who cares what they looked like during the season? You have a quarterback who's been to 5 straight AFC championships, now 6 straight. He's got 2 MVPs. He's won Super Bowls. You get to the playoffs, you are automatically probably the most dangerous team in the playoffs. Now, that being said, I expected them to have some success. Actually, my final score prediction was 27-24, except I predicted the Bills to win. So offensively, it did kind of play out how I thought it would. But the fact that the Chiefs only punted 1 time in this game, I mean, the Bills just had no idea what to do, no idea how to stop them. And it was a mixture thing. It's not like Patrick Mahomes threw for 400 yards. He threw for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns. You had Pacheco coming up with a big run whenever the Chiefs needed one. I mean, you have 3 different guys on the Chiefs roster who had a run of at least 20 yards. That is nuts. That's not something you usually see. And so the Chiefs offense was just running pretty efficiently. And as Brenton talked about, this is what we were waiting for, is the Chiefs offense to kind of go off. And that's what happened.
What do you think, Willie Bear?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. I've been saying for weeks. I thought it was entirely possible that the Chiefs would just sort of flip a switch when they got to the playoffs, that we see defenses do this all the time, that it wouldn't be that crazy if the Chiefs offense did it, because they had Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid calling the plays, and Travis Kelce there, 3 Hall of Fame guys. Rashee Rice has been coming on strong, and if they would stop handing Mecole Hardman the ball, they might have put this game away sooner. I do think, though, that the Chiefs offense was impressive, but to me, the bigger story, look, the Chiefs could win the Super Bowl. Wouldn't be that shocking, I think that they'll have their hands full with the Ravens, but as good as that, I think if you're Baltimore, you probably would have preferred Buffalo coming in.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Let's talk about the Chiefs.
That's what I'm saying. I think that Kansas City is literally what I'm doing. I think that Kansas City is, because of Mahomes, because of Kelce, because of Andy Reid, because of how good the defense has played, although they got ran on pretty good for stretches in this game. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, they have won 2 Super Bowls in the last 5 years, and wouldn't be surprising if they won a 3rd.
Breach, how surprised were you with the way that Isaiah Pacheco ran? I think Nate Burleson described him in the pregame. He runs like a kid trying on a new pair of shoes, which is hysterical. And also, you can't not think about that when you see him run, because he runs so hard. He didn't play in the first matchup in the game that was decided by a boneheaded play, if you will, producer Harry, by Kadarius Toney at the end there. He played in this game, averaged 6.5 yards per carry. Clyde Edwards-Helaire spelled him a couple times. 15.5 yards per carry. And Patrick Mahomes had, Josh Allen did a lot of the running, but Patrick Mahomes also had a couple nifty runs there. It didn't feel tit for tat, because the rushing was certainly unbalanced in the first half in favor of the Bills. But by the time it was over, it felt like neither defense had an answer. Doesn't matter for the Bills now because they're not playing. But for the Chiefs, to Brenton's point, they have some things to figure out defensively. But I was impressed with the balance on the offense.
Yeah, I think that actually played a big factor in why there weren't any sacks. I mean, Josh Allen didn't get sacked. Patrick Mahomes didn't get sacked. And when you're running the ball so efficiently, it kind of slows down the pass rush, because they have to be ready to keep you from running the ball. And neither team could really do that, because both these teams finished with over 140 yards rushing. For Pacheco, though, it really felt like the Chiefs' offense has evolved, and it has looked much better over the past 3 or 4 weeks, and it has been with him. I mean, I remember the Bengals game. He went off against the Bengals and ran for 130 yards, I think. And it was just like, wow, he hasn't done anything like this all season. I think he had maybe 1 or 2 100-yard games going into that game. And it was just like, wow, if he runs like this, the Chiefs can win the Super Bowl because Patrick Mahomes has a guy behind him who's putting up big yardage. He ran for almost 100 yards against the Dolphins and then comes out and runs for 97 in this game. So he's become such a key part of this offense. And that's the kind of guy that the Chiefs needed. You can have Patrick Mahomes only throw for 215 yards and win games because you have Pacheco running like this.
Yeah, big games from MVS as well, which hadn't been the case historically. He had some struggles, but he made some big catches down the field. A couple of things. I'll know this from our buddy Jay Morrison, who's a PFN now, covers the Bengals. He tweeted this at halftime when the Bills were up 17-13. The Chiefs have allowed the Bills to gain 124 yards on the ground. Since 1991, there have been 20 teams that allowed at least 124 rushing yards in the first half of a postseason game. All 20 had lost. The script was flipped, and we'll talk about why in a second. There are a couple of reasons. One very notable one at the end that delves into breaches territory, which makes him very sad. One other thing I'll mention, when Kelsey scored his first touchdown in this game, that was the first time in 8 games he scored a touchdown. Added another one, and now Mahomes and Kelsey have 16 touchdowns in the postseason, which is best all time in human history.
That's crazy.
All right. There you go. Nice job, producer Eric. You got the graphic. Tom Brady and Gronk behind it with 15, and then Joe Montana and Jerry Rice with 12, which is bonkers.